Sims-Tyers, it's Beth. Welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. I cannot believe we are already in 2025. Absolutely crazy. So what I wanted to do today, I wanted to have a bit of a chat to you guys about New Year goals, about setting them, about keeping them. And I also wanted to lay out some of them for me, just so that basically what I want to be able to do is quarterly come back, have a chat to you guys about my goals, how I'm working on them, what is going on, as a way to kind of keep myself accountable and hopefully keep you guys accountable as well. I'm hoping we can do this kind of as a community. So one of the first things I wanted to start off with is, if you follow me on TikTok, you will have seen that this year I am going to be starting off by attempting the 75 soft. You've probably seen 75 hard. If you don't know what it is basically 75 days of which you make sure you complete all this list of challenges every single day. And basically if you don't for a day, you have to start the whole 75 days again. So pretty intense. I looked at the general 75 hard and it just wasn't going to be attainable with my lifestyle right now. And especially as a dance teacher, a lot of the stuff is to do with workouts and what time you're working out, and it just wasn't going to work. My schedule is very different to most people's, so I decided to kind of come up with my own, which I've seen quite a few people do this year, which I quite like. And I'm gonna take you guys along this kind of ride as well, kind of fill you in on what's easy, what's not so easy. It might seem really simple when I talk it out loud, but they're all little changes and I think I will start to notice a benefit, or at least I hope so. So going through, I want to make sure I do 20 minutes of reading every single day. During 2024, I definitely got into my reading a lot more. It was definitely a much bigger thing for me. It was something I really started to enjoy. I've read a lot more books this year, and I'll be talking a little bit more about reading later on. Coming in next is 10 minutes of journaling every day. Again, journaling is something I got into this year. If you watch my Christmas haul, you'll know my mum got me a new journal as well. And I just want to get into a little bit more of that, a bit more kind of prompts for myself and just keeping going with that. I've been pretty good at the gratitude and kind of planning the next day. I tend to do journaling in the evening, but I want to start making sure I'm doing some prompts and things like that. Quite a lot of them you can find just on Pinterest. So I'm planning on doing that and making sure I spend 10 minutes doing that every single day. The next one is I want to do at least an hour of exercise 6 days a week. This may sound really stupid because, as many of you know, I am a dance teacher. However, just because I'm teaching dance doesn't always mean I am fully exercising my body. I do a lot of exercise through my teaching, but especially when, as we will be this year, getting into exam seasons, getting close to performances, I don't dance because my kids have got to be able to pick up, they've got to be able to know what they're doing, and they've got to be able to know everything without looking at me. So sometimes I'm not actually getting as much exercise as I may have kind of told myself, I think. So I want to be able to do an hour of real exercise 6 days a week. With that being said, I have said 6 rather than 7 because my job is physical. Even with all that being said, I am still stood up, I am still doing a lot. I want to make sure I do have a rest day for my body. There's something that I don't see everyone talk about. If you push your body too much, you're actually going to do it more damage than good. So I want to kind of be careful in what I am doing, how much I am doing, and keeping track of that. I also thought that could kind of go back into my journaling and kind of keep track of what I actually did for my hour each day. There are certain things I've never tried before. I've never tried doing Pilates. I did a bit of yoga during like pandemic times, but I haven't really done it since. Most of this exercise, if it's not at the studio, it will be at home. Your girl is broke and cannot afford a gym membership right now, plus going somewhere new on my own. Scary. I want to drink 2 litres of water every single day. So many people talk about this, and I got on a pretty good run of it about halfway through the year, and then I kind of stopped. So I need to work on that. I do want to drink more water. Obviously, it has so many benefits for you, and I find at the moment I feel like I'm drinking too many carbonated drinks, and there will be a little bit more on that in a minute. Next one is no alcohol. I have put in brackets except in social settings. I really don't drink anyway, so I don't think this is going to be a particularly hard one for me. So I'm actually filming this on New Year's Eve, so today will be my last drink. The next one is eat more balanced meals. Now, I am not the world's biggest eater. I do not eat a massive amount. However, I'm also extremely picky, and I think a lot of the time what I put into my body is not fueling me for the amount that I need to do. I am consistently tired. I am always sort of running low on energy. I just don't feel I'm kind of giving my body the nutrients that it needs. So looking at more balanced meals, I have been doing over the past few weeks a HelloFresh, which I have found has started to help me just implement a few more sort of nutrients into my diet, but I want to look into that a little bit more. So maybe we'll talk about that sort of through the year. And the last one is going back to what I was saying earlier, no carbonated drinks before dinner. I am very, very quick to, I never have carbonated drinks when I first wake up. I will always have like an orange juice or a green tea or a cup of tea, something along those lines. But as soon as that drink is finished and it gets sort of near lunchtime, get the Pepsi out or get the Coke out. Like, does that sound weird? We'll go with it. So I do want to stop having carbonated drinks before dinner. Once it gets to dinner, I think one can, we'll see. But just to help me along with the drinking water as well, hopefully that will help. Going on to some of my just general goals for the year, I decided to lay mine out in a website called Sims-Tyers. I actually did this on my laptop, but my laptop is out of power and it is charging so that I can edit this video. So I can't go on it right this second, but I've got it up on my phone so I can kind of talk you guys through it. And then what I will do is leave a link to Sims-Tyers down below. Super, super easy. I know a lot of people talk about Notion. I didn't really get it. Maybe I'm stupid, I don't know. But it just didn't work for me, whereas Sims-Tyers was pretty easy. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just wanted to give it a go. So I've kind of laid things out in several formats. So I've got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, self-development, professional, and dance teaching as a whole. I don't want to give too many quantitative details on a couple of things, but I will just kind of talk you through. So you can kind of do this in your own way if you're looking to set some of these goals, but like I say, I don't want to talk too much in quantities. I will just kind of update you in the quarterly updates as to how close I am, or have I hit the goal that I want to get to. For TikTok, I have the follower amount I want to reach by the end of the year, a certain amount of brand deals that I want to hit, and I will share with you. For me, for now, my new brand deals is 5. I want to start minimal because I haven't done too many so far, but I do want to be able to reach out with more brands and start to work with them because I've had so much fun working with the brands that I have worked with so far. And I also want to do 2 paid collaborations. So we shall see. I hope so. Instagram is kind of more of the same, and so is YouTube. The only thing that is different on my Instagram is that I want to post 2 to 3 times a week on my actual posts and 4 times on my stories per week. For YouTube, I want to post once a week so that my videos are there for you on Sunday morning. I also have my subscriber number that I want to hit, a couple of other just kind of personal things I'm not going to share right now. Professional, I haven't got too many. Basically, one job does not make you enough money. And that's just me being honest. I love my job so much. If I could just do it, I would, but your girl's going to turn 23 this year. She's got bills to pay. I want to apply for at least 20 jobs this year. Now, obviously, that goal might go away if I apply for one and I get it, because then I don't need to apply for any more. But 20 is kind of my minimum. Now, that might not sound like many, but my job is at the studio that I danced at growing up. So I've not got too much experience of job applications. So I really want to take my time, be able to go through them. And obviously I've got my teaching job as well. So we will see how we go. I also have a figure that I would like to make by the end of the year in a sort of ideal but realistic world. I'm not going to share that. But it is there. My dance teaching, I have put that I want to choreograph for 3 events that are not specifically done by my dance studio. So not my studio shows and not shows that we do every year. I want to be able to do 3 sort of new events, whether they are charity events, if they're similar to what I did last year. I did Pop for Diabetes and I did Dance Beats Cancer. So I choreographed for those last year. I'd like to be able to do 3 this year, at least, I'm hoping. So I'm going to start looking for that. I also want to put some of my senior and junior company into some competitions, I think. Not sure what I'm getting myself into on that one, but I do want to do that. And then I also want to complete all of the final bits and bobs for teacher training. So there's a couple of little bits I still need to do. I've done the bulk of it, but there's just a couple of little bits that I still need to be able to do. The main things in self-development, which is the final bit that I'm going to talk about here, is I want to finish 12 books. That might not sound like much, but that's 1 a month. And for someone who, I don't sit down and read chapters upon chapters upon chapters. I like to read a couple of chapters, and as you've heard me say, I want to read for around 20 minutes a day. So I felt like 12 would probably be a good place to start. I've got a few series. I've just read the first Throne of Glass book. And on here, there's just some similar things to what I was talking about in my 75 Soft. So I want to journal every night, get into reflection journaling every night, and then I've also got reviewing my goals quarterly. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about was vision boarding. Now, the way I make my vision boards is I basically spend hours upon hours on Pinterest just going through, adding everything that I might want to a 2025 vision board. Images, quotes, anything that relates to what I want to achieve. And then in Canva, what I do is sort of pick and choose the images that relate most to my goals or the quotes that speak most to me about this year. And I put them all on a vision board. And I will try and insert my 2024 vision board here. And basically what I do is I have it as my iPad screensaver, my laptop screensaver, and of course all the images are still there on my Pinterest as well. That is something that I really like to do because I like to learn visually. I'm quite a visual person. And so being able to see in front of me a vision board, saving grace. And it's also just that kind of subconscious reminder of your goals and what you are working towards, so that even on harder days, you are able to kind of remind yourself what you want and refocus yourself. I just want to talk about a few ways that are going to help you achieve your goals. I did just do a video talking about this on my TikTok as well, so you can go and have a look at that. But I wanted to talk a little bit, just very quickly, about them here. One of the biggest things is I find trying to group a lot of your goals under a word. Now that might sound really weird, but believe me, it works. If you have a word that you can find that is kind of your umbrella for the majority of your goals, believe me, it helps and it works wonders. So for 2024, my word was courage. A lot of my goals revolved around being able to be more independent, having more confidence in myself, and I did want to start posting more on social media. And for me, the word that came to mind was courage. I spoke about it with some friends at the very end of last year. I think it was New Year's Eve actually. And all my goals kind of fell into that. Courage, have the courage to do it. For me, just having that one word just reached out a little bit more to me. So that is something that I find really, really helped. Another one is finding some motivation. So if you have certain goals, for example, I think I used the example on my TikTok of if you wanted to get into running. Could not be me. Your girl doesn't run. But if you are wanting to get into something like running, follow people on TikTok that are runners. Follow people on YouTube that are runners. Start watching stuff because it puts it in your brain and it motivates you to carry on. Another thing with reaching your goals is checking in with them and changing them if needs be. And that's what I want to be able to do with you guys on here. So sort of at the end of each quarter, I want to record another video, talk about how I am doing with each of the goals that I have set out in this video. And do I need to change any? Do I want to add any? And do I want to take any away? I think things can change in a year, and that's not a bad thing. There is nothing wrong with changing certain things. The final thing I wanted to say as we go into this new year and you're looking at goals and setting them and achieving them is give yourself grace. There is nothing wrong with not achieving a goal straight away. Finding new disciplines, finding new things that you want to do takes time, and it might not always be the way that you think it's going to be. Circumstances change, people change. There were things that this time last year I thought would be set in stone right now that just don't even exist in my life anymore. And there is nothing wrong with that. Everything happens for a reason. Make sure you give yourself time. If for one day you didn't do the thing that you said you were going to do because you were too tired, that's okay. You know, it's okay to take a rest. It's okay to take a break. Yeah, there are days where you have to discipline yourself and you have to carry on, but you've got to listen to yourself and do what is best for you. Alright guys, that was a very rambly video, but let me know if you guys enjoyed it. I hope you have all had the most amazing new year, and I will speak to you all very soon.